Okay, this is a review of a fishing reel, KastKing 5000. So on the 19th of October 2022, I bought this KastKing Megatron 5000 reel from eBay for 60 Australian dollars, which is about 38.5 US dollars. So I wanted a reasonable priced smooth reel as an alternative to what's on the market, such as Shimano, Daiwa, Akuma and Abel Garcia. The main reason for that was wanting to buy a reel which would be about 20% cheaper, but the same quality as those brands for that price. Overall, I'm very happy with and impressed with this budget reel, which isn't that budget for an online purchase. So I was expecting to have no issues with this reel for a minimum of 6 months of active use. It's now been 1.5 years of active use in salt water. So yeah, I go fishing on a boat and land-based at Port Phillip Bay in Melbourne, Australia. So this reel gets exposed to sea spray and saltwater splashing against the boat and then onto the reel. So far so good. It's working other than a cosmetic issue. The reason why I'm doing this review really is because I saw there was an online rating of reels, and somebody said, don't buy KastKing, and I've never heard of this brand obviously until I bought it. But so far impressed, other than the cosmetic wear and tear. It's not rust, it's obviously corrosion because of salt and oxidation. Paints come off. I think they can be easily treated with this spray paint, which is designed for chassis and roll bars in cars, resistant to rust and corrosion. That should fix the cosmetic issue. Overall, there's nothing else wrong with the reel. The handle itself, I think it might be aluminium. The paint hasn't come off. It's very smooth. It's a 7 ball bearing reel. I'm just going to put my phone down. So on the, just when you take this cap on the spool, it's got a rubber, like a washer, which is similar to what I recently bought on Quantum, which is an American branded fishing reel, and it's designed to help stop the water. So after 1.5 years of use, I haven't washed this other than the metal itself here. There's no rust on those layers designed for obviously your, what do you call it? Not brake, but you know what I mean. So very little, there's no corrosion of any kind underneath as well. So the components are made from obviously stainless steel. No issues there. I must say, even though I have a Shimano got a Shimano Nasky little reel, beautiful Shimano, nice and smooth. I must say the second most enjoyable reel I got is this KastKing because of how smooth it is. So I started pulling up the reel just to see what's on the inside. I haven't pulled it apart since then, and even from the initial observation you can see so the gear here, it's obviously stainless steel. They're using a couple of washers there, some sort of plastic silicone. Does a good job. Very smooth, so just when you easily roll it like that, it just keeps spinning. For a $60 budget reel, to get this many spins and so smooth, it's pretty unheard of, to be honest. After 1.5 years of hard wear and tear, I actually think I've dropped this in the water and pulled it out at least on one occasion, and it survived all that. The bail arm works pretty well as well. It clicks just standard. Paint hasn't come off anywhere on the actual reel, other than obviously wear and tear drops. You can see the screws themselves, they're stainless steel, unlike some other Chinese cheaper brands, that sort of tends to rust. On this occasion that hasn't started to rust. Handle itself, even though it's metal, a bit sort of sharp on the edges, it's very light. It's very light, it's very smooth. it hasn't rusted on the inside anyway. I'm just gonna take it out. Oops. So it's in very good condition for a year and a half of active use. Like I said, it gets us a lot of salt water. Yeah, so this will get cleaned with wire brush and a bit of special spray paint, and hopefully will work another year and a half. And it's a very enjoyable reel, like I said, to use. It's pulled out tangular fish, stingrays, banjo sharks, salmon, pinkies, solid pinkies. It had no issues. The drag system is very good. So obviously those whatever layers they use for the drag system, might actually have a look. That's a metal washer. Looks like some sort of carbon fiber washer. As you can see, there's heaps of them there. Stainless steel and carbon washers. None of them rusted, and that's probably part of the reason why the drag system works so well. I'm not going to add anything to it to make it worse. It works really well. So let's not break what works well. I'm going to try and take off this brass nut there and just see if I can take off this cover. If not, I'll just leave it as is and conclude this little personal experience kind of review for you guys to think and decide if you feel like having a 5000 KastKing reel. These are the things I guess to keep in mind. Okay, so upon initial observation, a little bit of rust. Nothing too major. Like I said, it still works really well. A bit of rust. I'll give it a bit of a spray. Maybe chuck some marine grease. Okay, let's see. This comes off. No dramas. Alright, so you can see a little bit of rust. It's not that bad. I've seen a lot worse. Like I said, year and a half of active use. Not a single time has it been pulled apart, sprayed with any silicone lubricant. It's been under force, under pressure. That's a brass washer on the inside. And I don't see an excessive amount of rust coming out from the ball bearing there, which I have seen before. So yeah, does a really good job. Quite impressed. If you have any queries, welcome to ask me. That's it.